hello everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of Jkun Presents. It's been a while since I did a video, and I'm back from Vegas, so it's time to get back to the grind. So, as the video states, this is the EvoCon report. It's going to go over what I experienced at the tournament, what I saw, what I thought was cool, what I thought was lame, people I met, and I mean, just your basic usual con report, except this one's going to be a little more elaborate since I was there for a few more days than how long I would usually be there. So let's go ahead and get things rolling. Got the list right in front of me, so I know what to talk about. Let's go ahead and start with the flight. For those of you that know me, I have never flown before. This was also my first time to the West Coast. So, I had never experienced the headache that is the airport before. And it's definitely not something I'm in a rush to do again. Check-in, all that stuff, yeah, that was a usual pain in the butt. But once you were on the plane, I believe Lewis Black said it best when he said the seats were probably made by a pissed off person with scoliosis. Like, the seats were very, very uncomfortable, and the first class seats didn't look much better. So, I was in coach. Once we got everything situated and everything, takeoff was very, very easy. Like, that was actually kind of fun. And while you were in flight, everything was great, and I got it. The view outside, nothing could beat it. Like, being able to look down and see everything. That was really, really cool. If you hit turbulence, though, that alone makes me understand why so many people are afraid of flying. And the landing. I am fully convinced there is no such thing as a smooth landing at this point. Every single time we would land and the plane would start going like this, I was like, oh my god, we are going to tip right the fuck over and we are going to skid to a halt on the side of the plane. We're all gonna die. Once I got off the plane, we had a layover in Atlanta, and then we flew over to Vegas, which was about 3.5 hours. So that flying actually, like, that saves a hell of a lot of time. So on that instance alone, and I'll definitely be flying again. The hotel, we stayed at Bill's Hotel, Casino, and Saloon. It was right across the street from Caesar's Palace. Caesar's Palace was just not in the budget. It was way, way, way too expensive. But what we had was actually really cool. And outside of the glitz and glamour of Caesar's Palace, all the hotels are really the same. So outside of that, I didn't really feel like I was missing anything. I'm not really a big gambler on top of that, although I did try my hand at some slot machines and some blackjack while I was there. The aspect of gambling doesn't really appeal to me all that much, so to me it was just another hotel room. The casino part, I mean, granted, I've never really seen casinos in person, so I didn't really know what to expect outside of, like, what I may have seen in a movie. But it was just like slot machine, slot machine, slot machine, slot machine. There's a blackjack table. There's a poker table. More slot machines, slot machines, slot machines, slot machines. I was surprised at how many different variations of slot machines there were, though. Like, the one that really tend to draw me to it was a Ghostbusters slot machine. Like, it had a real nice cushy seat. It had, like, the big video screen on top as well as the screen down at the bottom, and people would actually, if two people were on the same thing, because it was like a two-grid setup, if one person was right here and the other person was right here and a bonus round started, y'all would actually be competing for each other's bonus. So that was actually really kind of cool, but I can see how that would get out of hand really quick when there's a large sum of money on the line. But outside of that, I mean, I'm not really impressed with casinos. I mean, if that's your thing, hey, more power to you. I'm not big on gambling. I don't even do money matches. So it doesn't really appeal to me. But in the aspect of me trying my hand on it, I wouldn't say that I really lost anything. anything I did lose, I would immediately win back. Nicole does not have luck when it comes to slot machines. Apparently I do, yet I don't understand why, because I just push the button. I have no idea what the rules are. I just, okay, bet, spin. And that's pretty much all I did. It was like, hey, you won 10, 15 bucks. Oh, okay, I won, cash out. And so, like, if I lost any money, I would get it back and then just cash out the ticket. So, I never made over, like, 20 bucks. But I don't really care, so that's kind of irrelevant. Places to eat over there were expensive. Extremely expensive. My God. The Burger King in the airport is the one that set me off the most. In Virginia, things are relatively cheap. Like, for what I paid for one person over there, I probably could have fed 3 or 4 people over here. But the food was definitely excellent. Like, we went to Rockin' Rita's, some Hawaiian place over on Treasure Island. We tried the saloon down at Bill's. The two that really stick out on my mind were Serendipities. We tend to eat there for breakfast because they had a donut that was literally the size of my head for $4 that almost fed the both of us, and that was pretty damn awesome. I took a picture of that. That one's already on Facebook. Y'all probably already seen that one. The other one was Rockin' Rita's. That was a really good barbecue place over at Circus. And then, of course, the last day we were there, we went down into Old Las Vegas, which I had no idea there was an old and a new, so sue me. But down in Old Las Vegas, they have the Heart Attack Grill, which, if anyone has ever seen Bizarre Foods or Man vs. Food, this restaurant gets a hell of a lot of exposure because it's apparently like overly fatty foods. Everything is cooked in lard, which that's disgusting. And it's one of the places where, like, if you weigh over like 350 pounds, you eat there for free every time you eat there, which I don't even have the words for how ridiculous that is. And apparently 2 people have already died eating there. So we thought it was a good idea to go and try it out. I tried out the food. Frankly, I was actually very disappointed with it. Like, it wasn't that good to me. Like, Cookout tasted better than Heart Attack Grill, and Cookout does not get that much exposure. It's very cheaply made food, but you get your money's worth in spades. The guy who owns the joint, Dr. John, I think his name is, he actually used to be a nutritionist before he started working and creating this restaurant, so figure that one out. I finished my food, he came over, took a picture with me and all that stuff, and I frankly turned around and said that your burgers are for pussies, because it wasn't that big of a feat for me. Cheeseburgers, Pounder Burger is harder to finish than what I had. And I showed him the picture of that enormous sandwich I made before we left for Vegas. And he was at a loss for words for that as well, so I thought that was really funny. But we've covered most of the stuff that happened outside. So let's start talking about what this video is supposed to be about. Evolution 2012. This is the Super Bowl of fighting game tournaments. The best of the best are here. Those of you that watch the stream know that people from all over the world come here to compete. You can be a big fish in a little pond if you want, but coming to Evo, you are swimming with the sharks, and it is definitely a dog-eat-dog world in Evolution. Stuff that I saw, like, everything was up in the Augustus Tower, the main ballroom, so pretty much the entire tournament, events, everything was in this gigantic-ass room. They had a Mad Catz kiosk where they were selling stuff. You can see right there, I got some. They actually gave me the wristbands for free. I would have happily bought wristbands because people that know me, I love wristbands. I got a Team Mad Catz jacket. Nicole got a shirt. We also ran across the Broken Tier table. They were selling cross counter stuff, so I got myself a cross counter shirt. Shouts out to Cross Counter Live. I love watching you guys. Let's see what else. They had a lot of exclusive stuff there. We got a first-hand look at the upcoming NetherRealm game called Injustice, which is involving the DC Comics superheroes, which that's getting a lot of exposure lately because I think they just released 2 new characters, Cyborg and Nightwing, which that was one of the characters I was hoping for. If they release Green Lantern, expect to see me Evolution 2 2013 Grand Finals for Injustice. Like, I'm going to take that game very, very, very seriously. They had playable builds of Marvel vs. Capcom Origins. That is scheduled to release in September. They had playable builds of PlayStation Network All-Stars, which, that, to my surprise, was actually a lot of fun. I played that on Friday. I think who they had to select on Friday was Radek from Killzone, Fat Princess, Parappa the Rapper, Kratos from God of War, Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series, Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, Big Daddy from Bioshock, and I feel like I'm forgetting one more, Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper from the Sly Cooper series. And then when I came back on Saturday, I figured, like, hey, why not? I got time to kill. Let's go play that again. They had released 2 more characters onto it, and they added Heihachi Mishima from the Tekken series, and it was either Toro or Kuro, one of the Japanese mascots for Sony. They added them to the build, so that was also really cool. They had build setups for the Vita version of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and they had it set up so somebody on console could play somebody on the Vita to see how that measured up. All I really have to say about that is y'all need to fix that before it comes out, because not once did I get a stable match, let alone the match that actually finished. But the good side about that is the 12 additional characters that had a lot of controversy around it were playable. So I got to play with the new characters and everything, and that was actually a lot of fun. Dudley is looking like he may make his return to being useful again. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. What else? They had Vita versions of all different kinds of stuff over there. They had Persona 4. I didn't play that, but I saw some people playing it. It looks kind of cool. Like, I may try it out. Like, I'm more than likely not going to take it seriously, but I will definitely try it out. I think that was it. Let's talk about the panels for a second. Obviously, Maximilian had an Assist Me panel where he showed some exclusive stuff and talked about what he was going to do in the future. That video, I think Max has already put that one up on YouTube, so you can already go watch that and see whether or not you find me in it. I'm actually kind of blatantly in it for a good chunk of it, just because of where I was sitting and where I was positioned. Capcom had a panel called The Year Ahead, where they had the development team for Street Fighter Cross Tekken and the development team for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Marvel, surprisingly enough, came out there and went, "Hi, welcome to the panel. We have nothing new to give you and are not going to release anything new anytime soon or in the near distant future. Thanks for coming by." And all of us just kind of sat there going, we wasted our time for this? The fuck? The Street Fighter Cross Tekken people, however, got treated a hell of a lot better. Their development team came out and was more or less like, "Hi, look, we know we pissed you off really bad, so here's what we're going to do in order to say we're sorry." And now, I know a lot of people, especially the people in my neck of the woods, have the mentality of too little, too late. They think the game sucks, and they want nothing to do with it. I am not one of those people. Like, I actually really dig the game, even with its flaws. I'm willing to look past flaws in order to look at the better aspects of the game. So I'm not ready to give up on Cross Tekken yet, so I was very interested in what they had to say. They went through a bunch of game tweaks that they said that they were going to be doing by the end of the month that were going to change the game drastically, like stuff about the gym, stuff about block stun on certain people's attacks, moving hitboxes on certain people's attacks so they can be countered more efficiently. The biggest thing that they talked about is they said the 12 characters, they were originally going to release them after the Vita release, but they are going to release them at the end of the month, and it would only be $20 or 1,600 Microsoft points, and you would get all 12 of them. So I was actually kind of stoked about that. I was like, alright, cool. I got something to look forward to at the end of the month, because summer is not a real big game time, unless you're like a Madden or a sports player. So there wasn't a lot for me to look forward to this summer. But here's where they really sweetened the deal. Anyone that was at Evolution that participated in the Cross Tekken tournament will be receiving a DLC code on the 31st from Capcom and the Evolution staff that will give us the 12 additional characters for free. So when that happened, I won't lie, I became gay for like 2 seconds and squealed. It was so I was really happy about that. But yeah, outside of that, from like, I guess from a spectator's point of view, there was definitely a lot to see, a lot to experience. But it was a lot that you could see in it and experience in one day. But when you're at EVO, you're there to fight, or at least I was. So let's move on to how I did in my pools. I competed in Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I only had Street Fighter on Friday, so that was the only pool I was in. And as expected, because I don't know Street Fighter that well, I lost both my fights and was immediately eliminated. I got sent to loser's bracket by some dude I don't remember, and then in loser's bracket I had to fight Super Yan. She was a girl that was on the show Cross Assault, and she beat the shit out of me. But she was really cool about it. We got to talk after the fight. We got a picture together and all that stuff. I think we're friends on Facebook now, so I mean, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. She could have been really rude about it, but she was very nice. She was very humble. So like I don't feel bad about losing to her, especially when it's a game I don't really know. Mortal Kombat is the one I was really putting a lot of my money and time into, on doing well and making it out of my pools. I won my first fight, and then I had to fight Waffles in round 2, and according to Blackula and some of the Mortal Kombat community, Waffles is one of the best smoke players in the country. And he sent me to loser's bracket, and then I had to fight my way out of losers. I won my next fight, and then I went up against a guy called Brownie, and he took me out because he counterpicked me. And in Mortal Kombat, counterpicking, knowing character matchup, who's good against who, is a very, very big deal in Mortal Kombat. Almost to the point that I almost want to say whoever wins the first set wins the whole thing, because I win a fight, I have to keep the character I just used. But you can choose another character, so you choose a character that is good against my character. So I lose. So I counterpick against you, so I win again. And then you counterpick against me one more time, and you win. So whoever wins the first set, in my opinion, effectively wins the entire set of matches. So in that sense, like, that's kind of shitty, but I mean, there's always those diamonds in the rough that, like, okay, even if it is a bad matchup, I'm still going to beat you. So I won twice, and then I lost twice, and got eliminated. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, me and Chris Bond from Fight Nation competed in that because it was doubles only. For never have played with a partner before, absolutely zero training time with each other, we did better than I expected us to do. DMG Lud and Rai eliminated us out of that tournament. Bond knows a hell of a lot more about Street Fighter 4 than I do, but it became very clear halfway through our first fight that, okay, Josh knows more about Cross Tekken than he does, so it might be a good idea to kind of listen to him. But surprisingly enough, me and him worked very, very well as a team, and I would totally team up with him again in the future. So that went about as well as expected. Marvel vs. Capcom is actually the one that I did the best in and didn't expect to. I almost made it out of my pools. I lost in losers finals of my pool for Marvel. So, like, I was 2 wins away from making it out of my pools and making the top 32. So I was actually ecstatic about that. Finals day is where things really got nuts. I woke up about 7 in the morning that time. They didn't open the doors until 9:30, but when I got there, there was already a line going down the escalators, waiting for the doors to open. Thanks to Bond, me and Nicole actually got seats right up front. We got front row view of all the finals the entire day. Soul Calibur I had never seen get that hype before. Mortal Kombat I was very excited for, and that was definitely a good show of skill. King of Fighters got ridiculously hyped to the point that it started making me feel like I was front row to a soccer riot. It was Korea versus Mexico, Bala versus Mad KOF, and that was absolutely nuts. Like, I don't even play KOF 13 that much, if at all, but I enjoy watching a game where 2 people of exceptional skill are fighting each other, and that was there in spades in the KOF tournament, especially since KOF is honestly one of the hardest games to learn. And seeing that kind of high-level play taking place was absolutely amazing to watch. But, of course, the hypest of the hype happened when Marvel took stage. They actually... Things got so crowded, so tense, and so hype during the Marvel tournament that they actually shut the tournament down until they could clear out the front area. And they were just saying very plainly, like, look, you're blocking the fire exits, you're blocking all the aisles. This tournament will not continue until you move. So, move or we're done. And Marvel was, oh my god. I keep saying hype and awesome, and it just sells it short. Like, I have never seen Marvel play that intense in my life, and definitely shout outs to Filipino Champ for winning the whole damn thing. You earned it. It was really awesome to watch it, and I can't wait to watch it again next year. We actually wound up leaving when Street Fighter started because, like, it was starting to get very stagnant in there. It started smelling really bad. People weren't bathing. It was very cramped. It was very uncomfortable. So after Marvel was over, we just left. So, and I watched the rest of Street Fighter on stream back in the room. So shouts out to Infiltration for winning Street Fighter, because from what I saw and what everyone else told me, you certainly had no problem winning it. So, but overall, that was the whole experience for Evolution. I had a blast. I had never been that excited for something in my life, and when I got there, it didn't disappoint. And this will definitely be something I will be doing every single year from now on. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the shoutouts, because this is starting to get a bit of a long video. So let's hit the shoutouts real quick. Nicole, we had our ups and downs during the whole trip there, but we got through it. Everything's copacetic now, so I'm definitely glad you were there with me, and I look forward to doing this again next year with you. Chris G and Ellie, y'all had a rough one, and when I record and post this video, y'all are still going to be in Vegas. Congratulations on winning 3rd place. I know you were a little broken up about the match that put you in 3rd, but I promise you it is all yours next year. Bonism, Fight Nation's Chris Bond. Before we showed up in Vegas, like, all we had was, like, talking online, and some wires definitely got crossed, and I understand that certain things could have been misconstrued, but I'm glad that all that was put to rest, and it was just my paranoia of, like, okay, maybe it's not what it seems. So I'm definitely glad that you were there. I enjoyed hanging out with you, even though we were both kind of doing our own thing. Definitely look forward to hanging out with you in the future. And yeah, dude, you're awesome. Look forward to hearing from you again. Let's see who else. Marlin Pie, Yipes, Filthy Rich, Clockwork, Maximilian, and the cast of Assist Me. Y'all were all awesome. You let me talk to you. We took pictures. Max and the Assist Me crew. I actually talked to y'all for an extended period of time, so, like, definitely thank you for putting up with me, especially since you didn't know me, and being so willing to talk about all these different things. That was actually really awesome. Filthy Rich, you get a special shout out because I ran into you and could not remember your name to save my life, and we started messing around on the Tekken machines and everything, and you showed me a lot of really cool stuff that I didn't know. And I've been a Tekken player since Tekken 2. So it was really cool meeting you and hanging out with you. Azrael. Azrael, that was actually something special for me. I guess the head creator of Marvel vs. Capcom, Azrael was actually his translator. And the reason why I call him that is because before he was doing that, he was an English teacher in Japan. And he had a blog called Outpost 9. It eventually became Gaijin Smash. And that was actually a blog that I read religiously. So I knew about this guy before he ever showed up in the fighting game community. And I've actually been aware of him for a number of years. So it was actually really cool that I got to finally meet that guy. It was absolutely awesome. But Combo Fiend, Super Yan, Flo, Blackula, Tom Brady, and Perfect Legend. PR Balrog, Noel Brown, Evil Geniuses, Justin Wong, Ricky Ortiz, Long Island Joe, Mike Ross, Gutex, Infrit, Marn, Filipino Champ, Alex Valle, Tokido, Gamerbee, Noah. All of you I got to meet and talk to y'all, get pictures with you. Y'all were really cool. Y'all were really nice. I look forward to seeing all of y'all again. And y'all just made the experience that much better. David Lopez, I promised you I'd give you a shout out on this video since I didn't give you a shout out when I was doing the vlogs. So I'm sorry that you couldn't make it this year, but we'll set something up so you can maybe tag along next year. And special shout outs, last but definitely not least, to Chris Dunham and Jake Gardner. When I was in the room, y'all were the two I was definitely talking to the most. Jake, I definitely have you to thank for my current skill in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because you have been the one explaining things to me, showing me things, and kicking my ass mercilessly until I figure out what it is I'm doing wrong. So I give you credit to how I did for almost making it out of my pools. And you two, like I said, y'all were the two I was talking to definitely the most outside of everybody from Richmond. So thank y'all for that. But that pretty much wraps up everything I have for Evolution 2012. Thank you everybody for watching. I realize that this one is a bit long-winded, so I do apologize for that. But this was a lot to cover. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you next time.
To eat cereal with a fork. God damn! Oh, that was bad. Now keep it on. some noise. It's time for Marvel!